Like Yu-Gi-Oh, I was released in 1996, which means that we are competing with each other to have the most amount of controversies. Currently, Yu-Gi-Oh is winning with scamming millions of people, but I'm about to drop a fire tweet. Today, we explore the plethora of controversies that Yu-Gi-Oh has been in, thanks to Many Kudos' wonderful video, and it all starts with a riot.
England has its football riots. America has people performing WWE moves over a new toaster oven on Black Friday. But how do you—
Does that even still happen? Do people still care about Black Friday? I thought Black Friday totally fell off. I thought people stopped caring about Black Friday because all of the deals are like 5% off a remote control for a TV or something along those lines. It's not even like cool anymore. The same with Cyber Monday. They used to have genuinely good deals, and now it's just pointless. They just pretend like it's actually putting some money off. They don't, it's pointless.
You get the normally orderly and respectful Japanese people to kick up a fuss. Why, you withhold a children's card game from them, of
Japanese
course.
people have never rioted.
Long before Yu-Gi-Oh sailed the seven seas and made its way to the West, it was taking Japan by storm. In 1999, Konami scheduled the Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Monsters Legend Tournament to be held at the Tokyo Dome, a stadium that regularly hosts sporting events, concerts, and apparently card game tournaments. After inviting the players who would be competing in the tournament, Konami opened up the invitation to anyone who had purchased that week's Shonen Jump magazine, the popular publication which printed the Yu-Gi-Oh manga.
Isn't Shonen Jump one of the most popular publications in the entire country of Japan? That's essentially like saying anyone can come. As long as you are somewhat weeby, then anyone can go.
While I'm sure just the mere idea of a stadium full of men with pit stains playing Yu-Gi-Oh would have drawn a massive crowd on its own, Konami decided to seal the deal by announcing that they would be selling a premium pack of cards that would be—
Oh my god, can you imagine how much that would be worth now? Wasn't this in 1999 when Yu-Gi-Oh first dropped? This is probably worth $1 billion now.
Unobtainable anywhere else. For this to really make sense, I first need to explain the environment that Yu-Gi-Oh was in at the time. Probably as a way to squeeze a quick buck out of the game they probably thought was in the middle of its 15 seconds of fame. Konami would often bundle powerful promo cards with Yu-Gi-Oh brand video games,
Harpy's Feather Dust is ridiculous. It is so stupidly powerful, it's insane.
Guidebooks, and ride-on lawnmowers, all of which costed significantly more than your standard pack of cards.
I would buy a Yu-Gi-Oh lawnmower.
All of these promo cards were completely tournament legal, meaning anyone looking to get a competitive edge would either have to buy these products exclusively for the promos or buy them off someone who did.
See, pay to win has been a thing for a long time, guys. That's not recent.
That might not be enough, however, as some of the promo cards were randomized on top of it all, meaning you could shell out for a full-priced video game only to get the Yu-Gi-Oh equivalent of a stick of gum and 2 stray pubes. The power level of these promo cards was so much higher than the normally available ones that the early meta of the game revolved around a deck type called Good Stuff, which was literally just a hodgepodge of whatever cards had the highest numbers on.
Oh, I miss early Yu-Gi-Oh so much. You would just play the highest attack monster that you had and then attack into a face down. It would be Manny a bug. Your blue eyes would get destroyed and then you just rage. That's what happened on the playground back in the day. No one knew how to play Yu-Gi-Oh correctly. People throwing down blue eyes and dark magicians with no sacrifices like it was Duelist Kingdom. Not realizing we had Battle City rules, baby. You're supposed to tribute 2 for those.
With no real strategy, putting the pros on the same level as the 10-year-olds playing during recess. So, the idea of showing up to a tournament that you weren't even competing in just to nab an exclusive pack of cards that might give you a competitive edge wasn't as ridiculous as that might sound today. But even—
You're telling me that there were real-life Seto Kaibas?
I'm looking for rare cards, Yugi. So I've come to the place where the cards are the fastest. The Tokyo Dome Stadium. I can find Harpy's Feather Duster here and add it to my deck. And then finally, I'll beat Yugi once and for all.
Even still, Konami severely underestimated just how enticing this was. The day rolls around, and the Tokyo Dome, a venue used to hosting the likes of Michael Jackson, was considerably unprepared for the 55,000 Yu-Gi-Oh players who descended upon the stadium. Of these 55,000, only 45,000 made it in before the stadium reached its capacity, with the other 10,000 left to ponder the heart of the cards outside. Those who made it inside didn't fare much better, as the vendor for the premium booster was considerably understocked for the amount of attendees.
What, they brought like 100? They were like, there won't be that many. There's not that many nerds around here, surely. They don't want that many cards. We'll put like 50 and some lollipops in. That'll satiate
You
them.
didn't hear incorrectly either. I said vendor, not vendors. And the poor
There's
stall
one.
quickly found itself overrun by a crowd of people whose patience was wearing thinner by the minute. Unsure of how best to handle the mounting tensions, organisers postponed the sale of the cards by a few hours before deciding to cancel the sale of the packs altogether.
Oh, that would definitely make them okay. I mean, if you get a 45,000 people in an arena that are all going there for one pack of cards and you tell them that you're going to delay it by hours and they wait hours and then you come out and say, sorry guys, we're not actually going to sell you the cards at all. I can only assume that the result was that people thought it was fine. They were a little bit miffed maybe, but then they went home and there were no issues whatsoever, right?
Having waited in line for hours on a hot summer's day, only to suffer from a case of Blue Bull's White Dragon, the crowd began to become belligerent,
a great
shouting
line.
at the staff and refusing to leave. Riot police were called in to duel the players, and 2 people were taken to the hospital.
Wait, you said Riot police were called in to duel the players? Oh my god, that's so funny. I wish that was real. That'd be so sick if they came in and it was like, we have to summon the police. And then each one individually duels them to get them to leave. Oh my god, that'd be so... Please,
While others were
I need this
treated
to be
with
real.
minor injuries. The tournament, aka the whole reason this thing was even happening, didn't make it past the second qualifying round before organisers decided to can it due to the commotion. Konami later tried to make amends for the people who showed up wanting a premium pack and set up a clunky mail order system that required you to submit proof you had attended on the day, either in the form of tickets or hospital gowns.
I was gonna say, or maybe the black eye that you got by being bludgeoned by Riot police.
Add location.
Let's go! Ad time,
The other
baby!
prince escaped years ago. Unfortunately, I'm one of the 2 out of 3 men who have suffered from male pattern baldness before the age of 35.
Wait, hold on. There's 2 men in this video, me and you, which means I probably also will suffer from male pattern baldness.
So there's no chance my current hair will get me out of this tower. Mirror, mirror over there, however do I dare to solve this problem of my, balding?
This is a really well-made ad, to be fair.
I'm Pete
Whoa.
Ublover, here to talk to you about keeps. Worry no more, gentle prince. With keeps, you're given a clinically
Pretty
proven
good.
and research-backed treatment that can not
There's
only stop
research
the
in this?
loss of hair, but promote strong, healthy hair growth as well. You
No,
won't even
surely
need to
not
leave the
both.
tower. Keeps utilizes physicians to create a treatment plan specifically for you, delivered
Does
direct
it?
to you. No need to see your local plague doctors, and about half the cost as well.
I'll cancel my appointment.
Sign up now. Oh, do I? Oh, yeah, no. Oh, okay. That's on. Yeah, it's that easy. Not only
Wow.
that, but you have a 24/7 connection to your prescribing doctor. Should you ever have any queries?
So can I wake him up in the middle of... God, he just took my... Fuck, I couldn't even make my own joke. I was gonna make... All right.
Man, I don't know. It'll probably grow back.
Hair loss stops with Keeps.
Damn, can't even make jokes in this.
To get
He's got all the
50%
jokes
off
too.
your first order, go to keeps.com/minikudos or click the link in the description below.
I'll do
That's
it.
KEEPS.com/minikudos.
Oh, P.S. Got you.
Okay.
Right.
I'm finally ready. Here goes
He's got a nice
nothing.
head of hair. He's gonna die from that fall, right? Yeah, I thought so.
Keeps.
At least he had a good head of hair while he died, though. That's good. 4 kids, 5 head.
Now, while most of these scandals are centered around the card game itself, it'd be remiss of me to not mention the reason I'm sure any of you even know what Yu-Gi-Oh! Is in the first place.
Anime.
The anime. Having
Yup.
learnt from the 20-minute commercials of the 80s, such as Transformers and G.I. Joe Mama, Yu-Gi-Oh! Hoped to one-up its predecessors by adding in the addictive factor of gambling and advertising kids trading card booster packs. While
Hey, I'm not saying that gambling is the same thing as opening booster packs that you'll then sell for money, but it's
content to
close.
sell the dopamine hit of proto-loot boxes to the impressionable youth, 4Kids, the company behind the Western localization of the Yu-Gi-Oh! Anime, were much more conservative when it came to the
Japan-based USA cringe. Wait, what's the difference? Oh, boobs. Right, got it. No,
show's
awesome.
risque
Nice.
content. The name 4Kids is
4Kids sucks. They ruined One Piece and they ruined Yu-Gi-Oh! as
infamous
well.
amongst anime fans, second only to Sunlight and Talking to Girls Over 18. In order
Hold
to
on, whoa.
localize their shows from Japan, 4Kids took a slapdash approach that involved removing any realistic violence, with punches thrown by characters edited and redubbed to just be a light shove, as well as the complete removal of
The hand looks so bad, man. Oh, it's so... I hate it.
guns,
I hate this so
which
much.
gave us the infamous threatening point scene. While removing guns from a show for American audience,
I was so confused when I was a kid because of this scene. He's just pointing at his head. I'm like, Bandit Keith, what are you doing with your finger? Are you gonna poke him to death? What's going on?
is like removing giant deadly spiders from a show for Australian audiences. It does make some small sense that the prevalence of firearms in American households might have made it more likely for kids to recreate these scenes compared to their lead-starved Japanese equivalents.
Oh, I forgot that USA houses like have tons of guns in them, especially in the South. You guys got guns everywhere, even responsible gun owners. How do kids get into gun safes all the time? That is insane.
4Kids was also notorious for its removal of anything remotely sexual. Although depending on who you ask, some agree that maybe Japan went a bit hard. No pun intended. A significant...
Okay, some anime, you have to admit, is a little ridiculous. It's so gratuitous. It actually takes me out of the anime sometimes when they have like a ridiculous arse shot. I was watching Code Geass and I was super into the mecha anime battles. There was mechas flying everywhere. It was crazy, those explosions. And then all of a sudden, there is a woman piloting one of the mechas and it pans, it goes directly behind them, just behind their arse to show her piloting the mech, but you just get a shot of arse instead of her piloting it. That's not fan service because it takes you out of it completely. It destroys your immersion. That's the word.
Number of female character designs were altered to have less revealing clothing, show less cleavage, and in some cases...
Okay, this is ridiculous. This is a normal amount of cleavage. This is completely normal. Why do you even feel the need to censor that? Are we just trying to pretend that women don't have boobs or something like that? No, they have nothing. There's nothing there.
Flat-out reduction of the bust size of some of their women. In the name of fairness, they also applied this same treatment to some of the male characters, covering up excessive exposed skin.
Okay, to be fair, this one I think is an improvement. I think he looks better with his trousers on, you know? This one, not to say that I don't enjoy a good dad bod, but, you know, probably better that he has some clothing
though
on.
their bust size appears unchanged. Or you could argue that these changes were just made to appease...
Yeah, why was the bust size of the king not nerfed? Why is it only women that have reduction in the chest area? This is sexism at its finest. The patriarchy is at it again.
The stuffy TV networks that 4Kids was shopping the show around to. They also found their way into the real-life card game published by Upper Deck and Konami, and a significant number of cards that were never in the show.
I don't know, am I the only one? Okay, I'm not the only one. I'm of the mindset that sometimes less is more. If you have more covering up and it leaves more to the imagination, it can be more, it just looks better that way sometimes. Sometimes showing more skin isn't necessarily the better option. I think that the one on the right actually looks better. I don't know, I just kind of like the suit. Maybe I'm the weird
Also
one.
found themselves censored. Finally, any and all references to religion or the occult were replaced with decidedly more secular versions. Even generic terms like hell or faith used in the names of monsters or attacks. One of
the
Yugi's
Shadow
most
Realm is just
famous
hell.
cards,
When they said they're going to send you to the Shadow Realm, they literally just mean they're going to send you to hell.
the Dark Magician, was actually named the Black Magician in Japanese, but 4Kids deemed the occult connotation of black magic to be offensive to Western sensibilities. Though, given what we've seen in other mini-scandals videos, changing this probably wasn't the dumbest idea.
Yeah, they were sitting in Japan and there was like, those sensitive snowflakes in America are gonna get real upset if we have black magic in ours. They're gonna say it's hellish or demonish. I mean, look at Pokemon. That has nothing to do with black magic and they still find a way to be scared of it. Oh, it's black magic. They're summoning demons. The Pokemon are demons.
This aversion to religion and violence also saw the creation of one of Yu-Gi-Oh's iconic concepts, the Shadow Realm. Death is a common occurrence in the Japanese version of the show, but 4Kids felt that American children were already reminded of their own mortality whenever they heard someone play pumped up kicks at school, and invented the Shadow Realm as a
Oh wait, Pumped Up Kicks is about a smooth smooting, right? I don't know if I'm allowed to say that on YouTube without getting demonetized. It's about a smooth smooting, right?
cheeky way around this. Anytime a character would die in the Japanese version, they were sent to the Shadow Realm in the Western one, which is described as a hell-like realm of perpetual suffering, which is somehow better than just saying they died.
It's just the religious stuff. They're scared of anything religious related. Also, I think the Shadow Realm is a really cool concept, and that is a genuine improvement on saying that someone just went to hell. I think that's cool. Being sent to a purgatory, where you're technically in a state of life but undeath at the same time, I think that's cool. Cooler than being killed.
Ridiculous scenarios, such as the duel that takes place atop the skyscraper in Domino City, where panels of glass were rigged to explode should the player standing on them lose the game. In the Japanese dub, they would simply fall to their deaths.
Oh my god, what?
In the English dub, they would fall into portals to the Shadow Realm? Makes you wonder why they spent all that time and money to reanimate the scenes with the guns when they could have just had the characters say they were shooting Shadow Realm bullets.
No, that's actually... Dude, that editing is really good, by the way. A portal to the Shadow Realm is way cooler than just, like, landing and dying. I think it's actually an improvement.
Wars are the only thing that separates man from beast. And one look at Yu-Gi-Oh's official ruling will prove just how fine that line really is. Now, okay, in my Magic the Gathering video, I might have leant into the smell jokes a little bit too much, but I can assure you these all came from a place of sincerity. Namely, I've played against some people who smell god-awful. A lack of personal hygiene is apparently consistent amongst people who collect small cardboard rectangles, but Yu-Gi-Oh decided to step it up by officially ruling it illegal to smell like roast beef.
This happens at every single convention. I've been to many conventions. I am a seasoned convention goer. No matter what, people will always smell god-awful. The worst part is when you're walking through a crowd and then you get hit with a wall of it. The body odor just smacks you in the face, and you kind of like turn, you're like, who was it? And you get an eye of someone, you're like, it might be that guy, but you move on, you don't say anything, obviously, but there's always people that just don't know how to use deodorant. It's ridiculous. How can you leave your hotel room without at least taking a shower? I don't understand. I can't comprehend it. You're making the effort to go all the way to a convention, and you can't even make the effort to shower. I don't understand.
In an update to the official tournament rules from April 2019, the policy reads, you are expected to be clean when you enter a tournament. Persons who neglect self-care to the point that they are negatively impacting the tournament may be asked to correct the issue in order to continue in the event.
Here's a game theory though. What if it's actually a ploy to distract the opponent? Imagine you sit down across from someone, smells like absolute doo-doo dog water. They smell awful the entire time you're dueling them. You're just thinking, oh dude, this guy smells so bad. It distracts you. It makes you misplay. It makes you less concentrated. It's actually a valid way to beat your opponent.
Honestly, this is a pretty based and soap-pilled ruling, essentially giving judges the ability to write someone up should they smell like a Smash Bros tournament in a durian farm. Given how competitive some of these players
people did do on purpose for Smash, didn't they?
I wouldn't be surprised if at least one fucking troglodyte aimed to smell as bad as possible in order to throw their opponent off and give themselves the edge.
That's
After
right.
All,
That's right. That's exactly. Yep.
Odor is the nasal equivalent of someone blasting an air horn in your ear, and trying to concentrate on a complicated card game on top of it. I mean, that takes talent. Hygiene was what?
Listen, if you really want to win, are you not gonna go to the ends of the earth to make sure that you win? If you are a true competitor, then you need to take every possible advantage, even if one of those advantages is gonna make you completely outcast from any kind of social situation. What is more important, winning or having friends and enjoying yourself? Winning is more important.
Once again, the focal point of a ruling around the unique promo card named Yujo Friendship. This spell has the effect where you offer your opponent a handshake, and if they accept, each player's life points become half the combined life points of both players. You
I don't know why you'd ever do this.
You can also reveal the Unity card from your hand in order to force your opponent to agree to the handshake. Now, take one trip to...
This is basically Pain Split, but for Yu-Gi-Oh! I also don't know why you'd ever do this.
Public bathroom and count how many dudes go from the pisser directly to the door without washing their hands to see why they had to change the ruling on this card.
Dude, those poor, innocent Japanese developers that make the effects for Yu-Gi-Oh! Cards did not comprehend how disgusting some card game players actually are. Like, you could get genuine diseases by playing a card.
Except don't really, because that'd be kind of weird. The current ruling on Yujo Friendship states that you don't have to physically shake your opponent's...
Wait, what? My roommate just played Yujo and showed me the Unity card in his hand. Am I forced to shake hands with him? He had his hand down his pants pretty much the entire duel. Dude, that's just bro stuff, man. That's just what bros do. Yeah, we just touch our cocks and then make our friends shake our hand. It's just stuff that bros do. I'm not gay.
His hand, just consent to the idea of a handshake, which is weirdly philosophical. This ruling happened years before the pandemic, and while Yujo Friendship isn't a card that sees a ton of tournament play, it's still one of the few rulings I can think of that stop you from reducing your actual life points to 0.
Still seems like a really bad card though. L,
If you thought
not
my
competitive
Kiwi
worthy.
accent, talking about cutting a dick in my Magic the Gathering video sounded suspicious,
Cutting a
now I
dick?
get to talk about a guy with a really, really long deck instead. You'd think most card games would have some manner of maximum deck size, right? Magic the Gathering
There is no maximum deck size when you're talking about Yu-Gi-Oh! Players.
It requires you to be able to shuffle your deck unassisted. Pokemon's players can't count above 10. But for
Facts.
a good chunk of Yu-Gi-Oh's life, there was no rules about how long your
Pokemon
deck
deck's
can
like
be,
70 cards.
staunchly defying the notion that Germans don't have a sense of humor. Two of our lederhosing loving lads entered a deck in the 2007 Yu-Gi-Oh! German Nationals in Hanover, Germany that was, drumroll please, 2,222 cards. The deck was piloted by Mike Shway on
Don't you have to be able to stack your deck on the table? How are you going to be able to do that? There's no way. How are you going to draw cards? If someone's going to have to give you a piggyback ride to be able to draw your
the
starting
right,
hand.
with the 1.2 meter acrylic deck box built by his friend Tobias Hayner on the left. Mike was an
Okay, they're wearing fedoras. What's going on here?
official Yu-Gi-Oh! judge, which explains how
Of
he knew
course
this
they're
whole
wearing
thing would be
fedoras.
tournament legal, but doesn't really explain why anyone would bother going through this whole ordeal. Some people theorized it was because of his status as a judge that he saw the lack of a maximum deck size as a flaw in the game's design that needed to be highlighted. But according to the man himself, it was all just for the meme. On Mega Capital G's video about
It just sounds funny. Some people just do things just to be
Mike's
funny.
massive throbbing deck, Mike commented that the target was to get a smile to other people, and we reached that target. Mike supposedly filled it with as many cards as possible that would either let him shuffle his deck or find needles in a haystack. So, cards in his deck.
How would you shuffle a deck with 2,000 cards? Oh my god, that sounds awful. And the crazy thing is, that would have to have so many different cards within it as well. You'd have to genuinely plan this out because you can only have 3 of each card in a deck. And if he had specific cards inside of the 2,000 card deck, he could only have 3 of each, which means he genuinely planned this out. That would have taken so long to make this deck.
Which would then need to be shuffled. According to him, one game had him playing Green Gadget, a card which has you search your deck for the corresponding Red Gadget card before shuffling your deck. As you
Oh
can
my
imagine,
God.
shuffling a deck of this size is somewhat of a logistical nightmare,
do you
even
even
with
do
this
that?
German engineered stand. And he was handed a game loss for taking too long to shuffle after playing Green Gadget. Mike even named the
Rigged. That's just the shadow government trying to put a real player down. He was playing within the rules, god damn it.
deck Mission Impossible, as mission is the German word for shuffling, meaning the deck was named
Base.
Shuffling Impossible in English, which is brilliant, frankly.
That's awesome.
Seeing that this deck would most likely continue to live up to its name, Mike was given a disqualification in his second game, and the 2,222 card deck was retired for good.
Let him
A couple
play,
of
man.
years later,
Bring him back.
Konami
Let him
made
play.
the decision to finally implement a maximum deck size, pulling the number down from infinity to a relatively conservative 60. While the timing of this has placed some doubts over whether or not Mike's stunt had any real influence over the situation, the story is much better if we say he did. So I'm just going to lie and say that he was the exact reason for this change.
I mean, he definitely was. Otherwise, people would have done it more in the future as well. Because there is nothing that people love more than killing a joke. They love beating a horse. They will use the same joke over and over and over again until you ban it and make it illegal. And that's why you should subscribe to my second channel. Also, this is a really fantastic video by Many Kudos. Make sure you subscribe to them as well. If you want me to watch a video, then check out my Discord server. You can put a suggestion in there.